I'm Joe Thompson, local resident with a background in IT and web design. We moved to Lowestoft 4 years ago because my wife wanted a sea view, I wanted not to bang my head on very low beams, but mostly to be part of and contribute to a friendly local community using my skills. So, wouldn't it be great if? That's the phrase that started all our projects. We also knew we wanted them to tell interesting local stories, but in new, compelling ways. They had to have great community involvement, both face-to-face and online, social media, and be templates that could be reused in the future by other towns and other streets. Oh, and last for generations to come. But first, a quick recap. Our Fallen started in response to a project in Felixstowe. Having identified their Fallen and the home addresses, they put posters on the relevant street lampposts saying, for example, Walter Cotton lived at number 22 over there. Just over there as well, George Ramsay lived opposite at number 7. This seemed to us a great way to bring history to life and onto our streets. Knowing that these brave locals walked out of the very homes we pass every day, maybe even live in, never to return, seemed very poignant. But we quickly discovered that only incomplete and often conflicting partial lists existed for Lowestoft. We set out to put that right. Working closely with Commonwealth War Graves Commission, Roll of Honour website and other primary sources, we created an Excel file with 2,000 rows. In some ways this was the hardest part of the project, checking every entry and then expanding it, but we knew it had to be right. Then we thought, wouldn't it be great if we created an online listing that was easy to search, sort, cross-linking with other similar records, maybe linking to the events that they were involved in to go deeper. Also simple to contribute to via an email link, with photos, memories from family and community. So drum roll, this is our homepage. Indeed, many local families did contribute. It has resulted in 400 new photos, 70 new family memories, and as Damon will discuss, discovery of over 100 Lowestoft people never recorded before on any memorial. These 5% were sadly lost to time, forgotten. At the top, we have links to maps, medals, and the memorial section. Also links to a quick video on how to use the resource, and also links that filter by family or streets most affected. Then on the first section, we highlight 4 of these locals, and the section changes on each and every visit to the site, because a key aim is to celebrate their lives, not just list their deaths. A quote section, and in this case we see captured then sunk with gunfire by German submarine. If you want to know more about George Waters, you click on that. A chance to virtually explore one of the streets most affected, in this case Denmark Road. You can filter by surname begins, and we'll talk more about this feature later, and via the listing section, a way to search, sort, and then go directly to any record. Currently it sorts by most recently updated record, another reason to visit regularly, but you can sort by surname, or by age. And when we do that, you can see that over half of the 2,000 residents were mid-20s or younger. Also, it's interesting that most of the youngest non-civilians were naval. But to start, and how most people use the database, is to come here and type in a name. And in this case, we will put in Doris Howe, but you could put in any text, vessel, month, etc. But let's have a look at Doris. So Doris was a 17-year-old civilian, and she was a casualty of the Waller raid. We're going to use this typical page to show the elements on all our pages. And if we start here with our main paragraph, which is created by combining most of the key fields, thus making it more readable. If you have an update, you can simply click on this special link here and email us the details. Then we go to this section here called Memories. This is usually contributed by family and can give a fascinating insight into the person and the times in which they live. Whilst not always verifiable from primary sources, hence the different colour, it is a valuable part of the project. If we look again on the right hand side, we can see here same age. In this case, 29 was 17 like Doris. Looking at the first three tells us Navy, Army, Navy, green, brown, green. And the right hand side dots tell us that the first two were First World War. We have moderated comments, which gives us an opportunity to involve the community. Extra details like services, memorial, and also if we come further up, Doris lived in Fir Lane, number 6, and we have a map. You can zoom in. As we know the latitude and longitude, because we use Google Maps to give us that, we're able to use these points on a map in many other ways. It's also interesting when you come to lost streets like East Street and Anguish Street, which is where the Bird's Eye factory is. We're able to plot people on streets that don't even exist anymore. We have photos. These were sent in by Doris's nephew Gary, and we always include credits because that's a key aspect of the project to make sure we highlight where we've got our information. And let's click on a couple to enlarge them. So with brothers and sisters, and with boyfriend. To the left, we can see Waller raid. So we're able to use the relational aspect of the database to link records with the events that they were connected to. And in this case, it's the Waller raid. If we right-hand click, opening a new window, we can learn more about that event. So we've got text on it, we've got extra photographs, and we've also got all of the records, once again, brought together that relate to this appalling raid. So if we go back, we've also got what we call our same street. So Doris lived on Fir Lane, number 6, but all these others also lived on Fir Lane. Sadly, many others on that lane were also casualties. 7 World War I, 12 World War II. In fact, coincidentally, the third and fourth on this list, Victor Longthorne and Arthur George, departed from the same house, number 12, 27 years apart, never to return. A good example of the benefits of weaving the information together. So Doris died on the 13th of January 1942. The site dynamically finds all others who died on this date and lists them in a block. Often, with the military, this is grouped by unit or vessel, but in this case it tells us quickly it must have been a raid, the majority being civilians. And as we can see, there's a key here, brown Army, green Navy, blue Air Force, white civilian. So you can see all of these with the white were civilians, apart from Laura Besant at the bottom.